Good morning, grade 5. I hope everybody had an awesome weekend and you're ready for today's lesson. So let's get started. So today we will be doing language. So I have 3 words over here and we're going to look at the definitions. So the first one is an object. So this is a material thing that can be seen and touched. An object may be a single noun, a pronoun, or a phrase. Right, so if you look around you, wherever you're sitting right now, try to spot one object. Where I'm looking, I can see a textbook, right? So it's a material thing, I can see it and I can touch it. Then we have a subject. So this is a person or thing that is being discussed, described, or dealt with. Right? So this can be a person or thing, and we can describe this in a sentence, or it's the person who we are discussing in a sentence. Then lastly, we have a verb. So we know a verb is a word used to describe an action, and it's a doing word, right? So for example, I am climbing a mountain. So climbing is my verb because it's an action that I'm doing, right? And also grade 5, please don't forget to copy the slide. Okay, so going to the next slide. Let's look at some examples, sentences using a subject, a verb, and an object. So the first sentence reads, the fruit flew on the lion. So the fruit, which is in green, is our subject, right? And remember, we said a subject can be a person or a thing that's being described or discussed about. Then our verb, which is in orange, is the word fell. And we know fell is the past tense of fall. So we know that the fruit was fell, and that is a doing word, right? And then on the lion, so that's in blue and that is our object, right? So we know a lion is a thing that we can touch and see, right? So there is an example of a sentence using a subject, a verb, and an object. Let's look at the second sentence. It reads, I asked her. So I is the subject again. So now we are using a pronoun, right? So I is a pronoun and that is the subject of the sentence. Then we have the verb, which is asked, and we know asking something is doing, it's an action, right? So that's our verb. And lastly, her, which is a pronoun again, but that is our object of the sentence, right? Her, which can refer to a girl, is a person, and you can see and touch a person, so it's an object, right? So those are 2 examples of sentences that have a subject, a verb, and an object. Okay, so on page 94, you can open up your textbooks and it says language practice. So it says write down the verbs and objects in the sentences below. And then again it says an object may be a single noun, a pronoun, or a phrase. So there are 4 sentences, and in those sentences you need to find the verb and the object. So on the side here I've written 1, which is just an example of how you can answer the question. So verb, then you only write the verb, and object, you only write the object that's in this sentences that they give you. You don't need to rewrite the whole sentence. Okay, so for homework, you write the heading, date and page number, draw a line. Please copy the first slide with the definitions, and then you answer questions 1 to 4 on page 94. Okay, so it's a little homework today. Enjoy it, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.